It's Friday, it's 4 o'clock, it's the bloody World Cup! Hurrah! Hurrah!
Hey.
They really don't care, do they? Pre, you care, don't you? Exactly. I don't know where's the, oh, actually, where's the Vuvuzela thing? Johnny, do something useful for once. There you go. Anyway, I hope you've had a good week. A better week than poor Lionel. Oh dear. Isn't there a song called Paul Lionel? Lionel. It might have been something. Anyway. Yes, Argentina on the brink. Anyway, won't say too much about that. We have had a busy week going through all the stuff that we did a couple of weeks ago. And lots of good news this week. Interesting stuff that's been going on. And it was review day yesterday. Yeah, very interesting. So now I have no staff left because I sacked them all. That's right. Particularly Johnny. He got sacked, then I re-employed him just to sack him once again. That was quite good, wasn't it? So thanks, Al. I thought that was quite a good gag, actually, as well. Anyway, right. So let's start with our story of the week. And this is very different. This week's story of the week is actually an opinion piece. It's a blog by Louise Kingham, the CEO of the Energy Institute. Now, we know Louise very well. She's a good friend of Energy Live News, and obviously she's one of the judges in Telca. And, you know, the Energy Institute, as you well know, if you don't know, it represents a big sort of professional body of people working across energy. So not just energy managers, but people working in sort of retail, suppliers, etc. They've been doing lots of work, and covered a piece earlier in the week about a survey they do called the Energy Barometer, looking at what was happening. And that kind of said the real big issue facing most people in the energy industry was, guess what? No shit, Sherlock, anxiety over Brexit. But that's not what Louise's blog's about. This blog is really about whether we in the energy industry are still so far behind, which is clearly the case when it comes to diversity. Whether it's women or ethnic minorities on boards of energy companies. So some basic facts are that basically 90% of energy boards, so energy companies, 90% of the boards have no female representation. Can you believe that in 2018? Incredible. 10%, the survey they did on the Energy Barometer found that 10% of respondents said that they were, well, how do I put this? They didn't think it was important. Right, 10% that it's not an important issue. 16% are ambivalent. Not to say that loads of other people did think it was something they were going to try and do. Now, look, we're not here to say that actually, you know what, you need to fly, I don't know, the flag for knickers, or, you know, everyone has to be black or brown at work somewhere. I don't think that's the case. I think you need to say that actually you employ people based on their ability. But the truth is, the energy sector in every event we go to is always the same. It's white, it's bald, it's male, okay? Because that's basically it. And that's got to change because energy is changing, right? The team at ELN is basically just a bunch of geezers right now. Apart from, no, I wouldn't say that. Apart from Pri and Chaya, isn't that right, Pri? Yeah. But we've always been fairly 50-50. It's only that recently it's not worked that way. Even Harry, we thought would be Harriet, but it is Harry. But all joking aside, our events, we try and get as many females along. We make sure that we try and do our content so it's absolutely balanced. There's no sort of demarcation here. I've had female camera women, same as I've the guys right now. And, you know, basically runs it because, frankly, Johnny couldn't run a paper bag or run a tap. But that aside, what we're talking about is an energy sector. And an energy sector needs to represent the people that work in an energy sector. And who are they? Us. Yeah, so the consumers are diverse. So why are the boards not doing things that are right by hiring people that represent your customer base and your future customer base? Customers will be getting younger. They will be coming from different parts of the world. There'll be different people working in energy because energy is changing. You know, it's not just going to be the land of engineers, and it's not going to just be a male world. So I think Louise has absolutely hit the nail in the head, which is saying you're actually, in a way, being blinkered and perhaps screwing yourselves over, because more diverse boards do better financially because you've got different people pulling in. Saying all of that, whatever Pri says, I'll ignore anyway, so it doesn't matter, does it? Is that right, Pri?
No.
Of course not. All right, moving on. Two stories now. First one and the second one are linked, but in very different ways. So the first one's about Mercedes-Benz. Now, Mercedes-Benz has decided to turn an old coal power station in Germany, it's in Germany, isn't it, Johnny?
Yeah, Germany.
Yeah, in Germany, into a battery unit. So basically what they're doing is they're taking, because they've gone into this whole thing of using their cars, becoming electric, more EVs, all of that sort of stuff. So they're investing in Mercedes-Benz battery sort of energy technology. So they've turned an old power station built in 1912 that was decommissioned recently in Elversingen, I think that's right, excuse my German pronunciation, and they're putting in 2,000 battery units. Something you may not know about batteries is they need to charge and discharge. So they have a cycle, batteries have a cycle, so when they charge up and discharge. And if you leave them storage, then, you know, it's like when you leave your car and you leave it for a few months, as I found out, battery goes flat. So what they're trying to do is have in this place a chance to charge the batteries, discharge them, etc. There'll be enough power there for 600 vehicles. This is really, really a story of how the old world is being replaced. So an old coal power station is being used as a new facility for the new renewable future of battery storage. Juxtapose that story with this one from India, which is incredibly interesting. So India, as you well know, pretty much the third biggest economy in the world, second biggest in terms of population, has had lots of changes. We've done loads of stories about its push towards renewable energy, but this one is a really interesting one. The Indian public banks have lent more for coal investment last year than they did for renewable and clean tech. 7 billion in coal investment and 2 billion for clean tech. Now, this is really interesting if you look at a place like Gujarat. So Gujarat's in the northwest. It's very dry, loads of wind because it's sort of fairly deserty, and it has loads of investment. When I was there a couple of years ago, wind power, huge turbines, massive stuff going on, lots of renewable energy. A lot of that has come from private investment firms and private banking. But when it comes to the other states, the banks, which are mainly the Indian government-owned banks, the state banks, have lent far more for coal projects, okay? So they've backed coal, even though the government wants consumers to use more renewable. Why is that? Well, if you look at it, it basically makes simple fiscal sense. And this is the thing that has been going on that people ignore. In developing nations, not alone, you know, we've probably sort of jumped the gun and said, yeah, we don't really need coal. But in developing nations, why would they not? Why would they not use coal? Yeah, why wouldn't they? If it's there, why should they not use it? And so it's a safe investment because it's regular. You know when the power is coming. You know you can have it on standby. And so I do understand why it's been invested into. I think this is just interesting that you have here Germany, you could say kind of first world, modern world, going, right, we're really going back on coal. And then you can have sort of a developing nation like India saying, well, actually, for us, coal is still quite important, so don't switch it off right now. Interesting stuff. So there's the stories. Let us know what you think about all of that. Oh, my God. It's time for the banter box. Who are you?
I'm Johnny. I'm your reporter.
Are you wearing that hairstyle because you like watching
it's a new
Ed
style
Sheeran videos?
No, it's just a new style. I thought it suited me. So.
He's adjusting the gender gap that we have here. How are you?
Yeah, I'm very good, thank you. Wonderful.
Really? Got it on the camera. Right. It's good though. It's a good look for you.
Yeah.
All right, anyway, North Face. Going on the clothing
so
line.
North Face, the outdoor adventuring kind of company.
I think people know who North Face are.
Not everyone. I didn't have a clue. So yeah, anyway, North Face, they do lots of nice coats and rucksacks and adventure things like that.
Coats and rucksacks.
They're now climbing
and
towards
things.
sustainability.
What's adventure-y things?
You know, if you go walking in the mountains, hiking. Gore-Tex, that's adventurous.
Gore-Tex, that's adventurous.
Yeah, but anyway, they hope to cut waste because obviously lots of brands have like defects in the clothes. All brands do.
Can I just say, there's one of the ginger hairs from the wig. It's just hanging
that's on
off.
my chest, there's.
Just hanging out there. Just get rid of that. Yeah, so go on. Sorry, I was stopping
Rob's
you.
saying I look sexy without my glasses.
Oh,
So,
God,
one
it's
second.
like a mole rat.
Hey,
It won't be-
everyone. They're not very fashionable. but-
Anyway, yes, go on. So, North Face,
yeah,
who make
so-
adventure things.
Yeah, so adventurous as they are, their clothes are still prone to defects, like lots of other companies.
Yes.
All companies, I suppose.
Yes.
And so people return clothes, and
Yes.
often in big companies, those clothes end up in a warehouse or getting sent to
Or,
landfill.
yeah, or sometimes they sell them in markets for seconds and stuff. But they do, yeah, you're right.
Well, that's what North Face is doing.
Ah.
So they're refurbishing these clothes.
Set
They're
that
also
one up.
refurbishing old clothes as well. So
Yeah.
if you have a really old North Face jacket that you want to put in the bin,
God, my son has got one of
you can
those.
bring it in
Really?
and just say, "What?" Well, you don't get to keep it, unfortunately.
Oh.
But they take it off you, and with the defects too. They wash it, they refurbish it, and then they sell it at a discounted price. So it basically means that they're not constantly having to. All of their stock won't have to come from virgin materials, is what they call it.
Okay.
Don't joke. So yeah, they have to kind of produce less plastic, so it's less environmentally intensive.
Okay. All right. I like that one. I'll give you that one.
And 85% actually of all clothes end up in landfill, which is pretty shocking.
Yeah, that is
so
shocking.
if you can cut that down a bit, I think that's good from
Or,
North
or
Face.
just buy the same clothes as Johnny does for wearing for years and years.
Yeah, till you grow out of them. I'm still waiting for that last spurt. And yeah, so the second story is
Yes.
a heavier one. It's about the UK. It's the Chancellor, Philip Hammond, has basically said he's going to establish a new green finance institution.
All right.
And that's mainly because things like the Paris Agreement, other international obligations. He says that the world needs to mobilise £68 billion by 2030. So that's, what, 12 years for £68 billion? It's quite a lot of money to plough into climate-only stuff. So yeah, he's hoping this institution, which would be a UK institution, can drive basically green finance and leverage more green finance in the UK and around the world.
But how's he confident this is going to work when the Green Investment Bank didn't work, you know, and lots of sort of green sort of finance products haven't worked properly? Why is he so confident? Is this to do with some of his Brexit anxieties?
I think it's just try again until it works.
Okay,
we can't really give up on
that's
the
a
environment,
good that's a
can we?
good swerve by Johnny saying I don't know the answer to that. I didn't know that question was coming. Okay, last one.
Yeah. So the last question, the last story, sorry, I actually like as well. It's about speed restrictions in Wales, where this is to cut pollution.
Not whales in the sea.
No.
Speed restrictions on how they swim.
Yeah. Welsh people.
Oh, Welsh people.
So currently, 2,000 Welsh people die every year or die prematurely
Right.
because of air pollution.
Yep.
So obviously, you don't want 2,000 people dying that you could save. So the Welsh government, on 5 main roads and motorways in really polluted areas, on some of them it's said you can't go 70 miles an hour anymore. You have to go 50
Okay.
because cars pump out quite a lot of, at the low and high ranges of their revs. They produce quite a lot of pollution. So it's saying you can't go 70, you have to go 50, and there are signs that say drive more smoothly. So no accelerating and tailgating someone. They're saying everyone try and drive more smoothly, and that will reduce emissions.
And that hopefully will reduce the number of particulates that's out there.
Yeah, nitrogen oxides, carbon dioxide, particulate matter. But I think
Yeah.
the main concern in Wales, they say, is nitrogen oxides, where like in these motorways or main roads, they're kind of dug out into the
Of course.
landscape,
It's
and it becomes a valley of nitrogen oxides that harm humans' health more than anything else.
One of your first stories was all about that, wasn't it?
Yep, it was.
Well,
Wind
you know,
turbines,
there you
nitrogen
go.
oxides, the lot. I've covered it all.
Well, there you go. What a pro. That's it.
Yep, okay, and you can contact me in Pre, as always. That's stories@energylifenews.com. If you have any suggestions or anything like that, complaints, praise, whatever, please let us know.
And just to say, after review day, we're going to be doing much more filming, aren't we?
We are. We're going to go
So,
out and about more. So if you
In
have
all
any good
seriousness,
films,
absolutely. They
yeah,
want to
we'd
go
love
out. They want to make some films. So they do nothing anyway. They sit around, particularly him. So get out there. Let us know what's happening in your part of the industry, and I will send Johnny.
it. Yep. I want
And
to
if
climb
it's-
a wind turbine
if
by
it's
the
a-
end of this year.
You can
so,
do that. And if it's a really good story, we'll send Pri.
Yeah.
How's that?
Yeah, I'll go get the fatbergs, and
You
Pre can do the
that.
glamorous stuff.
She can do the glamorous stuff.
Yeah.
Glamorous stuff. Thank you, Jonathan.
Cool. Thank
Goodbye.
you, everyone. Bye.
Lovely. Well done. Are you going to find your glasses? They're on the floor. Alex is about to step on them. That'd be the best bit, actually. I didn't realise that the wig was going to make an appearance just at that stage, by the way. So, anyway. Let's talk about what's coming up. So, you probably know about it. You certainly will know about it. It is the England-Belgium game. No, it's not. It's Telka next week, the 28th of June. We have put together all of our nominees. We've talked to them. They're all ready. Their fingers are crossed. The judges have made their decisions. Freddie's working on the table plan right now. We're going to have a great day. And unbelievably, I think this deserves a round of applause. For the first time ever, there will be sunshine on Telka night. 31 degrees. Robert is coming dressed up in a sheepskin. Yeah, okay, that wasn't as good, Jonas. So, don't forget that. At the end of October, on Halloween night, well, Halloween day rather than Halloween night, we have Energy Live Expo with Claire Perry, the Energy Minister, opening things there. So don't forget that. Make sure that you attend that. Harry is calling lots of people, giving you a chance to register for that. So get involved, register early. We have lots of good content planned for that. Very much so concentrating, as we said, the stories earlier, the uncertainty about Brexit. We're going to really look at that as we enter the final few months before the Brexit date approaches. And then at the end of the year, the big party, ELPA, the Energy Live Personality Awards, we will be having the list of the new award categories up by the end of this week, I think. So have a look, get involved, and it's free to enter. It is free. Can you believe that? Free, F-R-E-E. Enter away, come along. We're going to have a great night on the boat. So you can join that. Any shout-outs? I don't know if we can hear anything from Freddie or anyone. Pre? Nothing. Not even Kev. Kev's been busy trimming his beard, he told me. And he's also been having a shave on his face as well. Friday, July the 6th, the dangerous double act will be back. God help us then. Have a fantastic weekend in the sunshine. I will see you very soon, but the guys will see you in a couple of weeks' time. And don't forget all the content for Telka. You'll find out all the winners on Thursday. Have a good week.